Hey guys, Ashley here. You know me, always filming videos right when I wake up and looking beautiful. But yeah, I haven't come out with a video in a long time. I have been extremely busy. I'm serious. I don't think I've ever been this stressed in my life, and I don't think I've ever had as massive of a to-do list as I do right now, with finals, with school, with my business, with all these different things. It's just like crazy. And so yeah, I'm really stressed right now, and it's okay because that's life. And you know what, I'm really thankful for this, because I bet all of you guys are extremely stressed right now. It's just that time of year. And so I was actually planning a video for you guys. Wow, my hair's crazy. I was actually planning a video for you guys that was more so going to be on in-depth Bible studying a few verses from Psalm 119. So I actually planned a lot for that. So maybe I'll still do that video. But this morning, I read a verse that really just touched my heart. In that moment, I was like, this is what I need to share with you guys, because I am going through a season of my life where I'm just like, I need to focus on Jesus. But yeah, I've missed you guys, and I'm sorry it's been so long. I'm just coming on here and being extremely real and saying my life is crazy right now, and I want to make a video for those of you who are going through craziness right now, and just say, you know what, you're not alone. I'm with ya. I'm here. I'm literally in my dorm, and look how messy it is. But that's okay, because we are all children of God. Okay, yeah, I need to just stop and get on with the video. Today we are going to be showing you guys the Filament Bible. I really want to show you guys things that I would actually use and that I value. The Tyndale House publishers reached out to us with this Bible, and 100% I was like, yes. If you need a new Bible, or if you want a Bible that will help take you deeper in scripture, this is a great Bible for that. Each page has a little section that you can scan, and then it will take you to their app, their Filament Bible app. Maps, commentaries, even devotionals are on there, and so it's an amazing tool. So all these Bibles are on sale right now through the 27th of November. There will be free shipping over $35, and I actually have a promo code. I will have the link to get this Bible down below. Also linked in the description is a sample link. So if you want a sample of Luke for free, and you can download that, you can print that all out. And also the app is free, so you guys can get the app right now. I'll have that link down below as well. So, you know, get the app, it's free. That's amazing. Bonus, we are actually doing a giveaway for this exact Bible on our Instagram. So our Instagram is Coffee and Bible Time. And so if you want a chance to win this Bible, then hop on over to my Instagram and follow us. Download the app and tell me in my Instagram post in the comments, tell me, what did you like about the app? What really surprised you? What did you like about it? And tag a friend in this post, and tag a friend. These are the rules. So download the app, comment on the Instagram post, tag a friend. Okay, like I said, you guys, this video is going to be very spontaneous. It's not extremely planned, but you know, that's life. I'm going to be opening up to Matthew 14:22 through 36. Immediately, Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side while he dismissed the crowds. And after he had dismissed the crowds, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When evening came, he was there alone. But the boat by this time was a long way from the land, beaten by the waves, for the wind was against them. And in the fourth watch of the night, around 3 a.m. to 6 a.m., Jesus came to them, walking on the sea. But when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified and said, "It's a ghost." And they cried out in fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Take heart. It is I. It is the great I am. Do not be afraid." And Peter answered him, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." And he said, "Come." So Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water and came to Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Jesus immediately reached out his hand and took hold of him, saying to him, "Oh, you of little faith, why did you doubt?" And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased, and those in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." Holy guacamole, you guys. Whenever I'm in a time of my life where the waves and the storm seems like too much that I can handle, God usually has to get me to this point. But I turn my eyes back to Jesus instead of focusing on the waves, because when you put your focus back on Jesus, the waves grow small. The waves don't seem as bad. The wind doesn't seem as strong. Jesus was walking on the water. Jesus is sovereign over the storm. He's sovereign over the situations in our life. He is above anything that's happening. He is in control. He can walk on the waves. He can control anything. He is above it all. Any situation in our life. He is sovereign. He is good. And Peter starts walking on the waves too, while focusing on Jesus. And he was doing it. He was walking on the waves. He was looking at the Lord. But when he saw the wind, when he took his eyes off Jesus, when he looked around and saw the wind and the waves, he became afraid and he began to sink. Isn't that so often what happens to us, is that we take our eyes off of Jesus and we look at our storms, we look at our waves, and we begin to sink. What's interesting to me is that Jesus led them into the storm. So immediately he made the disciples get into the boat and go before him. So Jesus knew the storm was going to be there, but he still told his disciples to get into the boat. He knows we're going to be going through hard times, through rough waters, but that's the thing, is he brings us to these situations for a clear and specific purpose. He brings us into unknowns for a clear, specific purpose. He does these things so that we may see him and how great he is, so that we may see him walking on the water in our situations, in our struggles. We may see how much better he is and how much more in control he is than we ever are. And so that we can cry out to him during these situations, realizing, in this storm, I can't do it alone, and I need the great I am. I love how Jesus says, "Take heart, it is I." And this goes back to Exodus 3:14. I am the great I am. I am everything. I am the creator of the world before the beginning of time. I am in control. And Jesus says, "Take heart, it is I, the great I am. Do not be afraid." The only way we can do that is if we take our eyes off the situation and back onto him, because of course when we look at the waves and the craziness around us, we are going to be freaked out. The only thing that can make us come back to peace, come back to rest, is by looking to him and by coming to him. Jesus says, "Come." And he's saying, come to you right now. Come to him, and he will give you rest. And I want to go to Hebrews 12. "Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely. Lay aside fear, lay aside anxieties, lay aside stress, lay aside the schoolwork, lay aside the sin that is holding you back. and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith. Looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. God is above all right now. Jesus is sitting on his throne, and we need to look to him and realize, Jesus, you have conquered everything and you are in control of everything, and I'm going to fix my eyes on you and come back to you. This Matthew verse also reminded me of Psalms 107, 25 through 31. Some went down to the sea in ships, doing business on the great waters. They saw the deeds of the Lord, his wondrous works in the deep. For he commanded and raised the stormy wind, which lifted up the waves of the sea. They mounted up to heaven. They went down to the depths. Their courage melted away in their evil plight. They reeled and staggered like drunken men, and were at their wits' end. Then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble. Guys, this is why we go through things, so that we can cry out to the Lord, so that we can realize we can't do it on our own. That is why God brings us through these things. Then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distress. He made the storm be still, and the waves of the sea were hushed. Then they were glad that the waters were quiet, and he brought them to their desired haven. Let them thank the Lord for his steadfast love, for his wondrous works to the children of man. Wow. And even this turned into praise. It turned into thanking God. And if you saw in the Matthew verse, Jesus coming to them resulted in worship. They said, and those in the boat worshipped him, saying, truly, you are the Son of God. Turning to God in our situations means we see how great he is, we see how good he is, and when he works in faithful ways, we thank him and we worship him. So going along with that, I want to take you to one more verse that came to my mind, and it's Psalm 66, 10 through 12. And it says, for you, O God, have tested us. You have tried us as silver is tried. You brought us into the net. You laid a crushing burden on our backs. You let men ride over our heads. We went through the fire and through the water. Yet you have brought us out to a place of abundance. So it was God who brought them to this place. It just goes on to say, but truly God has listened. He has attended to the voice of my prayer. Blessed be God, because he has not rejected my prayer or removed his steadfast love from me. And so I think one of the best ways we can turn to God through trials, through waves, through storms, and one way we can look to him and fix our eyes on him is through prayer. And I think that's the best way to fix our eyes on Jesus, because we can't physically see him. We do have his spirit within us, and we do know that Jesus hears everything. He hears all our prayers. He hears all our cries. And so that in your season of distress is the best way to fix your eyes on him, is through prayer and through scripture. In Matthew 14, the passage of Jesus walking on the water, it's in the gospel 3 different times, and so I printed out 3 different sheets. So the Matthew 14 verse, and then there's a verse in Mark 6, 45 through 55, and then there is the same one in John 6, 16 through 21. And what I like about this is that you can compare the 3 different stories and see what's similar, or see sometimes the writer would add things or not add things. I don't have time to completely go through these, but I would encourage you guys to do this on your own. Go to these passages and really study them and see what is the Lord teaching you through these passages. I think that one thing that I found as I was reading through these 3 was that Jesus each time said, do not be afraid. In the Matthew verse, he says, take heart, it is I, do not be afraid. In the Mark verse, he says, take heart, it is I, do not be afraid. And then in the John verse, he says, it is I, do not be afraid. In each story, the writer made sure to add in Jesus saying, it is I, do not be afraid. It is the great I am, do not be afraid. We need to remember that whatever we're going through, whether we're fearing our future, whether we're fearing the situation at hand, whether we're fearing we won't get all our homework done in time or do great on that test or whatever it is, maybe you're applying for a school and you're scared you won't get in. It doesn't matter at the end of the day what happens, because Jesus is always going to be with you. And he's always going to be there walking on the water, sovereign over the situation, telling you to not be afraid because he is with you. And so that is just a comfort in any storm that you may be going through. We know it, but we don't really believe it. And there's a difference between knowing it and believing it. And so just pray that God would help you to believe that. And I will be praying the same thing because I need that prayer. So I'm just going to show you with the Filament Bible some resources that you can get. So this is the Filament Bible app. And again, you guys can get this for free right now, even if you don't have the Bible. I'm going to scan with the scanner. And so there we go, it scanned it. You can go to each section. They have study, reflect, and see. And so in the study section, they have amazing study notes. We see the Gospel of Matthew. You can look up who wrote it, the setting, all these things. One thing that I think is cool is, let's see, where is it? So off the study page, the C page, because I'm a very visual learner, is the maps they have on here. So this is where Jesus was. He was on the Sea of Galilee when this was happening. And then it gives me some information on the Sea of Galilee and the events that were taking place there. And so it just changes when you see the geography and when you see where all this is happening. It opens your eyes to the context, because this did not happen in America. And just some last encouraging words for you guys is to fix your eyes on Jesus. Seek him in prayer today. Turn off your phone. Go to him and just be refreshed in his presence and in his word, and he can renew you. He can take your eyes off the waves and make you realize, only he can do this, make you realize that your situation is nothing compared to how great he is and how mighty he is. I will be praying for you, and I will be just reading the comments. So if you want to comment down below and, you know, just share what you've been going through and how I can be praying for you, I would love that, and I would love to hear from you. So thank you so much for watching this video, you guys. I love you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.